viewers, welcome to the Global News Update on top accolade news. First, the headlines. East African forces extend the Republic of Congo stay despite protests. Blinken in Kyiv to hear latest on Ukraine's counter-offensive. US warns North Korea against any arms deal with Russia. Egypt needs to reduce birth to avoid catastrophe. Details coming up shortly. On security matters, East African forces extend the Republic of Congo stay despite protest. East African heads of state have unanimously agreed to extend the deployment of regional military forces in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. This decision comes in the wake of protest against the presence of these troops, which resulted in casualties. The extension will last for an additional 3 months with the aim of adding the response against armed rebel groups. Still on security, Blinken in Kyiv to hear latest on Ukraine's counter-offensive. In a major international development, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Kyiv for his third visit since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. He is there to align with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the United Nations General Assembly. Blinken's visit comes as Ukraine's counter-offensive enters its 4th month, with growing concerns about battlefield results. Moving on to international relations, U.S. warns North Korea against any arms deal with Russia. The United States has issued a stern warning to North Korea, cautioning that any arms deal with Russia could have serious repercussions. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan emphasized that if Pyongyang supplies weapons to Moscow for use in the Ukrainian conflict, it will pay a price in the international community. In health matters, Egypt needs to reduce birth to avoid catastrophe. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has called for a reduction in the country's birth rate to avert a catastrophe. He stated that Egypt needs to lower its annual birth significantly to efficiently provide jobs and social services. Al-Sisi hinted at the possibility of adopting policies similar to China's one-child policy to control population growth. You are watching the news on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Turning our focus to climate. U.S. pledges $30 million for climate-resilient food production in Africa. The United States, represented by Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, has pledged $30 million to support climate-resilient food security efforts in Africa. Kerry announced this commitment at the Africa Climate Summit in Kenya, highlighting the continent's vulnerability to the climate crisis and the need for early adaptation measures. In the world of sports, Michael Agbo aims for honor in Morocco. Nigerian judoka Michael Agbo is gearing up for the 2023 African Senior Judo Championship in Morocco. Agbo, the country's sole representative, is confident of securing a medal despite the fierce competition. He expressed his determination after rigorous training, aiming to make his country proud. Still on sport, Spain's women's soccer team appoints first female coach. The Spanish women's soccer team has appointed its first ever female head coach, Montse Tomé, following the sacking of her predecessor, George Vilda. This decision comes in the midst of controversy surrounding an unwanted kiss by soccer chief Luis Rubiales during the Women's World Cup. Thomas' debut match as head coach will be against Sweden on September 22. That concludes our global news update for today. Stay tuned for more in-depth analysis and updates on these stories. Thanks for joining us. I am Jonathan Powe. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.